I think it's just a fact that parents are unlikely to approve of everything their children do, with music being one of the key things that parents just cannot understand at times. Whether it be heinously heavy metal music with inaudible vocals, or overly complicated schizo-electronic music that is incomprehensible to their boomer brains, here is some music that will likely scare the parents. If you exist on this planet as a human being, you have parents. Everybody has to be born. That's kind of how nature works. And the thing is with parents, they don't usually approve of everything that you do as a son or a daughter or whatever in between. And one thing that they definitely do not approve of a lot of the time is music. Parents listened to music when they were growing up. Their parents probably didn't like that music, and it's the same. It's a generational thing. It continues to happen as music continues to change. So I was curious about this concept of songs that scare the parents, so I wanted to ask my community if it's ever happened to them. So that is exactly what I did, and I have a document full of times where songs have scared my viewers' parents. It is a fat document. There's loads of songs to get through, loads of stories to get through. I'm just going to pick them at random out of fairness. So the first one we do have, it is a donation. I was playing my dad fave music, and then I told my dad, I think you'll like this song. It's from the 90s. So I played this. My dad said, what is this? Turn that psychiatry off. His way of saying it's mental illness inducing. The parent of the person that put in this song thought this song is psych ward inducing, and the song is Blowout by Radiohead. So I will have to agree with that statement immediately. If I was a father and I saw my kid listening to this, on the naughty step, detention. I'll put them in the cage outside the house. It's got to be done, man. You can't have a kid go down this route. Stream, I'm going to be acting as the dad. I'm going to be saying if I agree. I'm going to be the semi-abusive alcoholic father. All right, that's not what I actually am, but it sounds good until Tom York opens his goddamn mouth. I don't think this is too offensive. I think my dad, if I play this, would just be like, this is kind of boring, and then want me to play Simon & Garfunkel or something. My mum, who thinks everything is demonic, would probably like this. Yeah, this is fine. Like, not a fan of Radiohead, not particularly, but I do need to explore their discography a bit more. I feel like a lot of it is good. First time you caught Radiohead haters in the wild? That's crazy. There's many of them. Many of them exist. I've never really liked Tom York's voice, and I can understand that it does work over pretty much all the tracks. It does work. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know what it is. When I was a lot younger, I went through the Radiohead discography, and I didn't really find anything like crazy of note. I left it for ages, and I never really returned. But it's like, it's a good piece of music. It's a well put together piece of music, you know what I mean? And I do not think this is too parent scaring at all. They are slightly overrated, but they came about in a time in UK rock music where they were kind of needed, like the death of Britpop. After the death of shoegaze, they were a band that were kind of able to take the sound into a new direction and inspired a lot of the British rock music to come. So I think they have a place in the world. I think they should exist. My dad is a big heavy metal fan in the 70s and 80s. It was nothing but sex, drugs, rock and roll. But stopped all that when he and my mum had 4 boys, but still loved rock music. We'd always blast Disturbed, System of a Down, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, all that on road trips. Anyway, on day for his birthday, my big bro and I were in a Hot Topic and brought one of the greatest albums of all time, The Black Parade. We gave it to him just before we were on our way out of town, so we can all listen to it in the car. We got through it. There's no punctuation here. This is a struggle to read. We got through the first 2 songs before he took it out of the CD player and told my brother to keep it. He didn't like it. TLDR, old man hates new rock music. MCR compared to Guns N' Roses? That's a bit ridiculous, no? But let's play a little bit. We'll do Teenagers, actually. That is the boomer attitude in the song, right? Because the drugs never work. My dad loves this song. He boogies to this song. He absolutely loves it. He's just into country and reggae, but he loves this song. Literally everybody wants to play Sleep, so we'll do Sleep. They've been huge on MCR, but can't deny their impact on emo music and on culture in general. They made a huge splash with this album. Crazy splash. Again, like, we haven't really had many songs that would really frighten a boomer father or mother. Sleep is most likely to scare the parents. Again, though, it's not hard. I don't think it's harsh enough to scare most parents. I think most parents would be very indifferent to this kind of music. Because, yes or no, Chad, I don't feel like parents will listen to the lyricism. They'll like, just hear the noises. And this just kind of sounds like a wholesome track, you know? Yeah, this will indifference the parents. I don't think so. If I heard this as a dad, I'd be like, my kid's a little bit freaky. My kid's wearing skinny jeans. My kid has a fucking black quiff with eyeliner. What is my kid doing? The character I'm playing is homophobic. I'm not homophobic. The dad that's being played doesn't like it. What am I talking about? I need to flesh this out. What the fuck? I need to stop drinking so much coffee before stream chat. No, I don't know if that scares the parents. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. school. I made my mum crash out whilst I was driving because I played Macaulay Culkin by JPEG Mafia. It's not that weird of a song. I mean, I feel like this is more likely to scare the parents. Any form of hip-hop for parents? A black man being angry on a track? Have you heard of the situation in the UK where Kanye West performing on the Brits and it was just like him and a bunch of guys like in tracksuits, and he got loads of like Ofcom reports and complaints because it was just a bunch of black people like dancing in tracksuits? Crazy stuff.
Like Macaulay Culkin.
Again, it's not that offensive, you know? Like, I feel like these things need to be a little bit more harsh. Chief Keef would scare the parents, yeah. I think JPEG's one of the best hip-hop artists of this generation, if not the best. My favorite, probably. It's very mellow. There's more songs in JPEG Mafia's discography that would scare the parents. I'll give my thoughts on a JPEG song that would scare the parents. You got to think, like, what music would definitively scare the parents? It's music that is different, that they don't understand, because it's got elements that have developed since they were into music as kids. Because everybody was into music as kids, and they were into usually the more experimental stuff. My dad was quite young around the Black Sabbath time, and he loved Black Sabbath, but he can't deal with like any metal screaming because that's something that developed as he got older, and he understands it less. So we need to find something that's got a bit more harshness and a bit more modern elements to it. Sounding like a I think the song that would scare, we're going old school in terms of Peggy. This one.
You think you know me?
This one. This is too much for most parents. I think this is it, you know. Yeah, that would scare the parents, chat. Yes or no? My dad played a trumpet in a few bands, so he's pretty open-minded. I told him I wanted to go to a Stomach Book concert, and he asked me what kind of music it was, so I showed him Casket Kids. All he said was, and that's how I found out he hates screaming. Yeah, I think the concept of screaming is a thing that parents of like our generation can't really get into. Oh, it's this band again. Yeah, I like this person. I think it's an individual. Yeah, this is some prime. We're reaching prime scaring the parents' territory here. This is giving me a headache. If my dad or my mother heard this, they'll tell me to turn it off. Do you know what I used to do? My mum had an Alexa, and when I was younger, I used to run into the room when my parents had like friends around and scream to the Alexa, "Alexa, play Death Grips, Alexa, volume 10," and just blast them. I think there's more than just screaming that would scare the parents in this song. Yeah, there's a lot of elements in this song that are very, very much a product of the internet and on being online, which is something that I don't think parents can really understand. I don't think like parents understand the concept. Because I've had this a lot with my dad. He doesn't understand the music of this generation, just like his dad didn't understand the music of his generation, you know? The YouTuber Coolia loves this song. The dad character I'm playing is currently raging. He's a raging alcoholic who's just had his last whiskey and he's just punched a hole through the wall. I like the idea of Stomach Book, but the mixing and production hurts my ears. Yeah, there's some weird mixing and production choices in this, but I feel like it is all intentional. It's that damn machine, chat, and the parents are right. It is that damn machine. This is a top tier scaring the parents song, 100%. So much going on. It is really good though, and but it's very overpowering. And if that's a bit too much for us, that's a bit too much for the boomerish parent. I can't lie to you. I cannot lie to you. Why do you feel the need to put me in these places? First time using FL Studio be like? A rage rap song that would scare most parents. No, I disagree. Oh my god. Dad getting crunk to this one. Dad is getting crunk to this one. If I played this, my dad would start hitting the gritty. I thought it was Carti. No, this is Carti's Consequences, these little clone acts. The rage beats. The parents are terrified of the formulaic production. I mean, yeah, it's an alright song. This formula just works though. I think I was 14, completely obsessed with a Lil Crunk electronic number by the all-time GOATs Family Force 5 called Chainsaw. And my dad walked into my room while I was supposed to be doing homework, but I was watching the music video instead, so I immediately switched tabs to something else. And he told me to switch back to the page, and I think he assumed I was lying and watching porn or something, because he told me to play it and spent the next minute having the most confused, disappointed look on his face, realizing his son was in fact not watching porn and was watching something way more embarrassing. After a minute of that, he paused the video and went, "Why can't you just do something more productive with your time?" That's a good one. Like, he probably would have been like, he would have understood if it was porn. He would have understood. Explain in this song. Yeah, they like the way I do this. It's my red Chainsaw. Now hear me roar. This is not a good way to utilize your time as a young person listening to this. From what I understand, Family Force 5 is really popular with parents. In what sense? Once again, I feel like the parents have no choice but to get crunk. Some genres just span generations, and this is one of them. They're a Christian band, so Christian parents like this. They're like, this is some nice music you can listen to. They're running on 4 hours of sleep. It's not the best way to be doing this stream right now. This won't scare the parents, man. Some things are too good. You know the idea of primal needs for a human being? This is a primal need for a human being. So it doesn't matter how old you are, what generation. Christians need to go back to making classical music. I beg to differ. We need more of this. The culture needs more of this. Why is there not a TikTok resurgence of this? For me, it would be Infant Annihilator. Kind of obvious choice, I know. But my mum actually threatened to kick me out and didn't talk to me for weeks, so that was fun. Same thing happened with my sister. She listened to Vanna Pretty Boy. My mum called her a failure and stormed out of the house. That's ridiculous, man. Some parents are so ignorant. Some people are just so ignorant. Average response to hearing a song you don't like: get out of my fucking house. What is wrong with people? Any really extreme metal, it scares most normal people, so it is going to scare parents. Did he? It's obviously like heinous music, and there's a lot of music that is incredibly evil and heinous, and it's not going to be appreciated by people that are into certain religions. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It means they have a certain perspective on things, but you need to let people like get into what they're going to get into. I feel like it's only going to make it worse if you stopped people from listening to certain things. But no, this is horrible. Don't get me wrong. A lot of like people that aren't into music, they're just gonna listen to the vocals or the vocal sound and make their judgment on that. They don't understand the talent it takes to play double kick at a speed. They don't understand it. They just think it sounds horrible, and they're not wrong. Yeah, that would scare the parents, but I don't think that should scare the parents enough to literally kick the dude out of the house. That's horrible. No. My dad has always been a big fan of Bjork's older music. I decided it would be a nice bonding exercise if I showed him her new stuff he hadn't heard. I chose my favorite Bjork song, Lion Song. They proceeded to burst out laughing, saying stuff like, why is she out of tune? She's clearly gone nuts. This is crap. This song is particularly important to me, so safe to say I didn't try and show him anything like that again. I mean, that's not exactly scaring. She's out of tune, right? Yeah, this is just mean. Actually, I've laughed at many songs that have been donated to me, so maybe I'm no different. An artist who was already experimental in the 90s, developing and creating different types of sounds. Yeah, she must have gone nuts. Must have. One feeling I can kind of, it is kind of humorous. I do really like this song. I think the vocals are really unique and really effective. It's a beautiful track. Didn't seem like it scared the parents. It seemed like it just prompted the parents to take the piss out of you. I showed my family Duality by Slipknot once because they wanted to know what I was listening to. They all respected my music taste except for my dad, who thinks that my mental health problems are due to what I listen to. Well, I think that's due to like a lack of education from that generation. A lot of the news that was going on at the time was blaming heavy metal for all the horrible things that were going on. And I think there is some credence to, as media started to get more like chaotic, sensationalized, and a bit more edgy, a bit more violent, I think that is bound to change the way in which people act. But it's not the art's fault, I don't think. It's always to do with the parents and the individual people. But I don't think like people who say there's no like validity to say that media can cause violence, I don't think that's true. I think what people regularly consume will affect their brain and will affect their actions. I think that's true. The art just reflects the struggles of a new generation. Yeah, but I think like it can bounce back and forth, you know what I mean? Anyway, Duality by Slipknot. I mean, that's kind of a hot take, and like you guys feel free to like debate me and call me a fucking idiot for having that take. The presentation of Slipknot during this period was pretty terrifying. This is heavy even in modern terms. I agree. I think this is a heavy song. People that call Slipknot not heavy are just like elitists and stupid. I think it's a good song. I think it's a well-made song. Layered really nicely. The riffs are nice. Melodically, it's cool. You know what is like really underrated in this song that really drives it forward and that I think is really fucking good is kick positioning. Joey Jordison, absolute goat. Would this scare the parents? I think so, but not as much based on the song itself. It's heavy 100%, but it's very like melodic. But I think the pushing fingers into the eyes is kind of a horrible lyric that would definitely scare the parents. And then the visual presentation that comes along with it is definitely something that will disturb a lot of people, not just parents. Slipknot like are very big in culture to the point where everybody's kind of used to it at this point. My mum is the kind of person, devout Catholic, who thinks everything is demonic. So anything with screaming is out. I don't dare play any of my black or death metal around her, but I specifically remember her having a reaction to Heaven Shall Burn by Imminent when I had it on in the car. On the opposite end, I had some power metal, Victor by Fellowship, and she said, this is a bit fruity, isn't it? Power metal is so over the top and stupid that even somebody that hates every metal is just going to find it goofy. I mean, this does have some power metal elements to it. Ooh. The weird thing about screaming though, because like I do kind of see it, like screaming traditionally as a thing is not a nice thing to do. Screaming implies pain, it implies anger, and it implies like a kind of evil nature, which is why like parents are always going to see the music that has screaming as angry or like violent, and it usually is, but they don't understand it's like they think it's music that's supposed to make people angry and violent, as opposed to music that where people are putting their like angry or violent thoughts into the music, or just creating like a piece of art because they want to. A piece of art that is violent or aggressive doesn't always have to be made by somebody who has violent or aggressive thoughts, not at all. It could just be a piece of art that people want to like. This song has the screaming, which might scare the parents, but like tonally, it's quite inspiring. It feels like kind of a movie soundtrack as opposed to anything really bad. I played black metal around my dad. He would just say like, "Oh, I really like what's going on here," but the screaming just ruins it. Yeah, like some ambience here. This doesn't seem like it would scare the typical parent, but I mean, I guess like some parents are a lot more strict than others, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, power metal is the dad's dream, because dads want to be slaying dragons on a mystical island and listening to music about it, of course. My mum was really into old school Hollywood. Like 2 weeks ago, we were driving together, my phone was connected, and this came on. John Wayne was a Nazi. Oh, dearie me. This is a great one. This is a great one because it's something that your parents are particularly into, and then a punk band is just ripping it to shit. That's great. Taking the absolute piss, calling somebody that your parents loves a Nazi over and over again. That's a very specific one. I don't think that would scare most parents. Was playing my metal playlist with my mum, and she's usually okay with it, but Atomic Age by Impy made her scream at the top of her lungs to turn it off. Oh, Imperial Triumphant. Okay, I didn't know you that was a shorten for it. See, this isn't like too offensive in the fact that it's heavy. It's just kind of really strange. This is the most parent scaring metal song because I'm genuinely extremely confused right now. It speeds up. Who's rolling cans down the street? Imagine you're tripping balls and your trip set starts playing this and it starts going. It's like schizophrenia inducing because there's like vocals, high-pitched vocals coming from one ear. Predictable. I think this is a fucking piece of art. This is crazy. I love finding shit that just sounds like nothing else. Like, I think I like this as like a concept and as a piece of art as opposed to something I would actively listen to like on a day-to-day basis or ever show people or play around people. It's just like, this is a piece of fucking art. Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of Chat Pile a lot, except Chat Pile have got more simple riff, less technicality in their sound. But in terms of like the pure schizo, Chat Piles are more of a sludgy, simpler variant of this, I'd say. Oh my god. With a plane? A helicopter going past? There is so much going on, and I feel like this song could be split up into multiple different songs. We can appreciate how unique it is, but is all of this needed, you know? Oh my god, you always do this to me. Near the end of the fucking stream, I have to fucking listen to the most incomprehensible. From the state of my room that they let me out too soon. Oh, this is too much. I think this is more scaring the bros than scaring the parents. This sounds like it was converted to MIDI. Yeah, the piano. 2000s back rooms, yeah. You're just walking down the street in the middle of the night and this just starts blasting as the fucking street lights start flashing. I don't know what's going on. I know about as much as you here, chat. We're in the same goddamn boat. No, I actually don't mind it. I am kind of overreacting to it because I'm a bit tired. It's weird. It's like a bit too sporadic. It doesn't seem to follow a pattern for very long. I do like the kind of stuttery, stop-starty aspect of it. It's definitely unique, and I always do like appreciate things that are completely unique in the space of music, especially with like how fucking just put into boxes things again because of TikTok and stuff with genres. Raw Guy Lullaby by Ozzy Geary. I was in the car with my mum and plugged in my phone, not knowing that this was playing. She screamed at me to turn it off immediately. Oh my god. Please no more, chat. You're torturing me, please. I can't do it anymore. I can't. This is what all the songs that play today sound like to the parents. There we go. What beautiful words to live by. And that is the outro to this goddamn video, sort of.